Okay, so let's check out this video, this clip.
So last week I said that I threw away the flowers that a man gave me because they were specifically the flowers that I told him I hated. And a lot of you said, well, maybe he's forgetful, illiterate, or makes dumb jokes. You encouraged me to understand why this stranger who means nothing to me did something that I didn't like instead of just moving on with my life. I do understand there's a lot of people on this earth that having a relationship is a goal for them and there's nothing wrong with that. And so because having a relationship is a goal, they are willing to figure shit out with whatever guy puts in front of them. It's just not a relatable experience for me. You might call that being a bitch. Some of you might call that being in an Aquarius moon. I call it an ability to stay focused on what I know I was actually put on this earth to do. For those of you desperate to understand the inner workings of a man that nobody asked to materialize, for the plot, I asked him that I just thought it'd be funny. I don't like when women take themselves a little too seriously. You see how, we didn't really need that information because either way, I don't want to deal with him. The result's still the same. Don't give a fuck why. So last week, I said that I threw away the flower.
This is the thing, right? I admit that was a jerk move. It's like, why? To take them, not take themselves seriously? It's like, I mean, obviously, in my opinion, obviously he didn't care, right? Obviously, he didn't care if he get with her or not. But then, why even waste your money? Yes, maybe you bought the cheapest of cheapest flowers, but why even bother? You're wasting your money and you're wasting your time. This is the thing where sometimes I don't get some people. Why? It's like, are you that bored in life that you want to waste your own money and your own time to do what? Because you're bored, so you want to, I don't know, rile up a woman? It's like, I think that's idiotic, right? Idiotic. But why I wanted to show this clip in particular, we'll get to it.
Flowers that a man gave me because they were specifically the flowers that I told him I hated. And a lot of you said, well, maybe he's forgetful, illiterate, or makes dumb jokes. You encouraged me to understand why this stranger who means nothing to me did something that I didn't like instead of
Why a stranger means nothing to me. It's something I didn't like. The part of where I'm more geared towards is a stranger that means nothing to me. Which is, yes, I agree. The people we meet, the dating, all that stuff, they're strangers. I agree. Why I want to point it out, right? Why I really think this clip is something important, something that's very telling. And I'm going to show another part that supports it too. This is why men are doing coffee dates. This is why men are doing 50-50 dates. Okay? Because you're right. We're strangers. We mean nothing to each other. So the balance of power, right? The balance of whatever. You could put whatever word you want to say. Should be equal. We both mean nothing to each other. So we go on a coffee date, a low investment date, right? A low investment date. You're barely spending nothing, right? $5, maybe 10. So strangers, you're getting to know each other. So possibly that, you know what? You actually mean something to each other after the initial low investment date. That's the thing where, wow, this woman is literally saying what most women perceive men, right? When you go on a date with men, women think you are a stranger. You mean nothing to me. Yes, men know that, right? This is the thing where I support it. Stop going the extra mile to impress women because, again, you mean nothing to her. You are a stranger. Going the extra mile does not guarantee you nothing. You mean nothing to her, right? And this is, in my opinion, This is most women's mentality, right? When they go on a date, you mean nothing to her. That's the thing you got to think about. You are a stranger. And part of it is like, this is why online dating, in my opinion, is better than, talking to women on the streets, right? In my opinion. Because again, at least she'll get a sense of you before the date. So, yes, you mean nothing to her, but you might not be a complete stranger to her, right? And that's why it's like, surprise, surprise, online dating is more popular than, let's say, in the real world, right? Talking to women in the real world. Because I'm also an advocate of not approaching women, because I have a whole bunch of thoughts on that part, but I think perfect example, right? Perfect example of why coffee dates matter. Even walking dates. Because here, like I said, you are a stranger. You mean nothing to her. So why take her to a 5-star restaurant? Why take her to a, I don't know, Top Golf? Like, go and do any activity, any of that stuff. Why? You are a stranger. You mean nothing to her. So really, even if you did that, it doesn't, the amount of effort you did does not change your results, because you are a stranger to her. So really, because again, it doesn't guarantee you that, oh, now you're not a stranger to me, you mean something to me. No, it doesn't guarantee you that. So why, you know what? You men are now like, let's do a coffee date. Let's do a walking date, because so we can get to know each other. So we are not strangers. So potentially, like, you mean maybe a little bit of something to her, right? Something to each other. So he's not out of nothing, right? Because again, so you're not meaning nothing to her, yet you spent $100, $200 to her. What does that do for you? Nothing. Right. So let's another one where kind of supports what I'm talking about.
Just moving on with my life. I do understand there's a lot of people on this earth that having a relationship is a goal for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so because having a relationship is a goal, they are willing to figure shit out with whatever guy puts in front of them. It's just not a relatable experience for me.
This is the thing. If relationship is not a goal to you, get out of the dating market. Why date? Right? Why even date? Right? Why even talk to men if relationships is not the goal? And this is the thing, men, stop dealing with women who don't want to be in a relationship unless you're just trying to, hit it and quit it, right? If that's your thing, right? Just sex, if that's your goal, I understand. But I'm talking to the good, nice, average guys who actually want to be in a relationship, who's not into like a whole bunch of flings, who's not into, one night stands, who's not into having a whole bunch of women just to have sex with, right? Men that wants relationships, wants a stability, want to build something. Stop dealing with women that relationship is not their goal. Because hey, look at this, right? If relationship is not their goal, what is? Their career, themselves. Why would you want to be with a woman that all she cares about is herself and her career? She has no time for you. She has no care for you. So really, yes, stop dealing with women when relationships is not their goal. So plain and simple. And fine, this is fine. If relationships is not your goal, cool. I am in support, big support of women staying single for the rest of their life. Be happy, right? Focus on your career, focus on yourself. Be single for the rest of your life. I support that. Because again, for women that don't want to be in a relationship, right? It's not her goal, right? She doesn't care about it. That type of woman will only make your life a living hell, right? Will make things hard. Because if you want to be with a woman like that, you have to climb a mountain to change her mind. You have to climb a mountain to treat her in a certain way where, you know what, now she's like, oh, now I changed my mind. I want to be with you. And to change a woman's mind is absolutely tedious, right? If her mindset was wasn't already like, I want to be in a relationship, right? That's easier to get a relationship from a woman who wants to be in a relationship than a woman who don't want to be in a relationship, and you have to change her mind to want to. So don't get with women like this. And on the flip side, right? This is this right here. If your goal is to focus on your career, focus on yourself, not a relationship, great. Don't change that mindset. Don't change that mindset, because you know what? You know what's the problem with that? Is because when you're happy single, right? And then your career is doing well, right? You're in a good spot, right? And then you change your mind. Oh, now I want to have a relationship. Usually, you're older. You are more withered. You're more bitter. You're more hard to deal with. You're more jaded. You're more combative, difficult. You're not a optimal partner, right? For most men, you're not. So that's the thing where women can. I'm all support of women focus on themselves and focus on their career. Feminists all the way, right? Girl power all the way. What I'm not in support is that you change your mind whenever you feel like it, because there's consequences to that, right? You cannot dictate how the world around you will work when you want it to work. You can control your own life to a certain degree, right? That's pretty much the only control you have. You can focus on your own happiness. You can focus on your building your career, yeah. But to change your mind, oh, now I'm ready for a man. After years, I'm like late 30s, 40s, whatever. Now I'm ready for a man. So this is what a man gets now. This is the man that you are ready for gets. You older, you're more bitter, you're more combative, you're more set in your ways. The youth is disappearing or gone, and you're more expectant. So you're harder to do. It's like, really, what is a man getting now that you're ready? So that's the thing where I think it's, don't change your mind, right? If relationship is not your goal, stay it. Keep it like that, because there's consequences to changing it later. Because here's the thing, when relationship is not your goal, obviously men are at practically not on your list at all, right? Either at the end of your priority list or not on the list at all. Cool. But that mindset, when you can pick and choose when, oh, now men are on my list, right? On my priority list. Nah, that's, we're good. We're good. Okay? Good men, right? Good men, they're good. They don't need to be, they don't need to finish last with you. Okay? They don't need to be treated like, oh, as when you're ready, that's when they should be coming at your beck and call. Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?